I wanted to start this series explaining Christianity with a question. But before I do so, just a quick word about questions. I will be asking them from time to time, and I think it would be really beneficial if you would just pause the video and take a couple of minutes to think them through for yourself. And it would be great if you would go along with us just for a couple of reasons. First, I'm aware that this whole thing could come across as some kind of diatribe, me trying to tell you what to think, and I don't want that to happen. I want this to be as close to a dialogue as the limitations of YouTube are going to allow. Second, I want you to get as much out of this as you possibly can, and this is only really going to happen if you are able to engage with the subject matter for yourself. Okay, so that's got that out of the way. Let's get down to the question. Now, it's not a particularly exciting question on the face of it, but I think it is one that is worth asking, because right at the start of this whole thing it forces us to confront our preconceptions about the Christian faith. So here's the question: what is Christianity? If you were to sum Christianity up in just one word, what would that word be? Okay, you're back, and hopefully you've got your word written down there in front of you. What I would say is hold on to it, because it might be interesting for you to see how your thoughts about Christianity change, if at all, throughout this whole process. Now, maybe the description, the word you have in front of you, is less than complimentary, and let's just say more than a little bit colourful. That's fine, because what I wanted to do was actually start off with the negative views that many people hold about the Christian faith. And I think, from my own experience, most of these views fall into one of 6 different categories. And if you want a memorable acronym for this, think of the words tin car, T-I-N-C-A-R, tin car. T, tyrannical. I, irrelevant. N, nonsense. C, crutch. A, arrogant. And R, religion. Well, it would be useful at this point just to give a brief description of what I mean by these words. Start with tyrannical. People who hold Christianity as a tyrannical religion would be of the view that Christianity, and perhaps all religions, are to blame for the troubles and the suffering that we see in the world. Those who think that Christianity is irrelevant would say there may have been a time when, yes, the Christian faith or message had something to say to the world, but the world since then has moved on, and Christianity, like a dying light, is on its way out. Those who hold that it is nonsense would say that Christianity is hocus pocus, on a par with tree huggers, yogic flying, and people who talk to fairies that live in the plants at the bottom of their garden. They would argue that science rules and has shown that Christianity is a load of cobblers, best word to use. Those who might say that Christianity is a crutch would argue that Christianity is for losers who cannot cope with the harsh reality of the world in which they live. Those who hold that the Christian worldview is arrogant say it is such because it claims to be objectively true for all people, everywhere, at all times. And if you're not a believer, Christians say you're going to hell. So it's arrogant. And finally, religion. In other words, Christianity is just another means of telling people how to please God in order to be able to join his club. Okay, what I want to do over the next few video logs is to answer this question of what Christianity actually is. And I'm going to do so by unpacking each of these descriptions, each of these words in turn. And eventually what I hope to do is go on to tell you what I believe Christianity is about at its very core. Okay, well, I guess all that remains to say on this video log is that I would love to hear your comments on my thoughts. You don't have to agree with me. In fact, it would be much more interesting if you didn't. But all I can ask really is that you be honest and polite in your responses. Doesn't really pay to be rude. If I can respond to you, I will. But obviously that's within the limitations of all my other commitments. I am a full-time father of 2 very demanding children. On that note, about the limitations, I don't know how often I really will be able to churn this stuff out, so just please be patient with me. I'll do it as quickly as possible. Well, that's it for now. Speak to you soon.